Yo-ho! Hegassen here! One Piece chapter 956. What an amazing chapter. If you saw my live reaction, you will know that by the end of it, I was almost speechless. Every single panel was mind-blowing information. So many questions coming out of this, so much speculation. Let's jump straight into this review. This chapter was a Wano interval chapter, and like the last one, it revealed so much. Last time we had Blackbeard, we had Mihawk. This week, we got them again and more. It starts off, what we're going to get? Reverie news. Starts off as Reverie has ended. All of the world leaders are going back to their respective countries. We see Neptune, we see Shirahoshi, and they have been escorted by Garp back down to Fishman Island. This is where we get our first clues as to what actually happened in the Reverie, because obviously Reverie happened now a week ago in the One Piece storyline. So we find out here what actually happened. We got our first clues. Garp's talking about it. He's having a cup of tea with Neptune, and what I love, this is classic Oda. They're underwater, Garp's in a bubble. He says he'd like a cup of tea, and they give him a cup of tea in an actual bubble. He's literally drinking some bubble tea. This is the kind of stuff that makes Oda GODA. These small details. I mean, this chapter alone makes Oda GODA, but this makes him GODA plus. All those tiny details. And as he's drinking that tea, like I say, we get those first hints. He talks about the fact that blood has been spilt. That's all we get on that, because then he goes straight into the fact that something has happened with the Alabasta Kingdom. We don't know what it is. In fact, throughout this entire chapter, this is the only time that it's brought up. Lots and lots to speculate on, like I said. What on earth happened in the Alabasta Kingdom? I'm assuming it's something related to the fact that when we were in Reverie, we saw Im-sama and he had the picture, or she had the picture. We don't know who Im-sama is, but they had the picture with Vivi talking to the Gorosei about what I'm assuming is Vivi and Alabasta. So something has happened involving the world government and Alabasta. We don't know what it is, but we don't have to wait long for some more answers. Like I say, we talked about assassination. So we go over to the World Economic Journal, and there is Big News Morgans, the legend that is Big News Morgans, and he tells us that there were 3 big stories in Wano. Wano, Reverie, 3 big stories, something about the Warlords that we'll get into a little bit later on. The blood being spilt, which is either linked to an assassination attempt or the fact that somebody died. They are the 2 other big stories, and Morgan says that this is all front page news, so he's going to have 2 stories on the front page, 1 on the back, which is also going to be another front page. But as he's making this paper, a messenger comes from the world government and offers him a very large sum of money to keep one of these stories silent. We don't find out what story it is. I'm assuming probably relating to the assassination attempt or maybe the death. They try and give him a little bit of hush money, but Big News Morgans, he turns it down. He proves himself to be an absolute legend of a character. He turns it down. He turns down the world government. The person who was offering the money is revealed to be a CP agent. What does Big News Morgans do? Well, he knocks him out in one punch. Big News Morgans is strong. We have to start power scaling Big News Morgans now, and he moves his headquarters because we find out that balloon that we saw him in, that is his headquarters, and he goes off somewhere else and prints all of the news regardless. Big News is now probably an enemy of the government. What an absolute legend. Big Unit Morgans. Major respects for Big News Morgans now. What are these stories? Well, in the next few panels we see the revolutionaries, we see Makino, we see the mountain bandits that raised Luffy, Ace and Sabo. And what do the other 2 groups I talked about have any relation to? Also, by the way, we'll see Blackbeard reacting to this. But they all have connections to Sabo. I'll talk about Blackbeard's one a little bit later. But yeah, they're talking about Sabo, and it's made to look like Sabo is the one that's died here, at least by their reactions. But I don't think so. I don't think Oda's going to kill a character as important as Sabo off panel like this. You know, Sabo's also a character. He's already died once in the series. Is he really going to die again? Don't think so, to be honest. I think here this is just, again, a little bit of clever way of showing the panels and not quite revealing enough information just to get us speculating. What else could it be about? Well, Sabo isn't a warlord, so he can't be linked to that story. And if Sabo isn't the one that died, the only thing left is the assassination one. So what does that mean? Well, when we saw Sabo in Reverie, he was very, very angry at the fact that the world nobles, the celestial dragons, were using Kuma, a former revolutionary, as a slave. And not just as a slave that they were riding around on as if he was like a horse or something, or some beast of burden. And he was very angry about that, with all of his anger pretty much going towards Rosewood, the celestial dragon that was sitting on top of Kuma. We also had another character there, Jewelry Bonnie. She wasn't very happy with him either. So what does this mean? I mean, we don't know who got killed. We don't even know if Sabo killed someone or tried to kill someone. But, you know, if I had to spin my own headcanon, most likely I'd say Sabo probably did something to one of the celestial dragons. Most likely sent Rosewood to try and save Kuma. Maybe he got a little bit hot-headed. Maybe he got a little bit emotional and acted out. Maybe Jewelry Bonnie, like I say, she was there. Maybe she acted and that made Sabo act as well. I'm assuming all of this probably messed up the revolutionaries' plans to actually announce war with the world government. I mean, attacking the celestial dragon is kind of the same thing, but they never actually got to announce it formally. At least there's no speak of the revolutionaries declaring war. All we get is this news of a death, assassination and warlords. You'd think it'd also be big headlines if it was Dragon announces war against world government. We don't get that, so I'm guessing their plans got messed up and something definitely went wrong. And it most likely involves Sabo, and I'm guessing, like I say, involving something with the assassination of a celestial dragon. We also find out as well that Morley, Karasu, all of the others that were there, Dragon hasn't been in contact with them. So, you know, what's happened with them? Are they all on the run? Are they like in the red line with Morley's powers, hiding out? Are they with Kuma? Are they with Jewelry Bonnie? We don't know. So much to speculate on. Yo! So I've been thinking about this a little bit more, and this is what I definitely think went down. I think Sabo probably, maybe unintentionally, killed a world noble, which on itself is basically a death penalty. Maybe got captured, hence why everybody is so worried and looking distressed when they're reading the papers. Assassination, I reckon somebody, probably Summer, maybe using Rob Lucci, tried to take Vivi's life, but she managed to get away. Maybe someone saved her. Not sure who. Could be Leo. Could be Sai. Could be Pell. Anyone else there. One of Luffy's former allies, probably. Could even be involved with Sabo, but I reckon the two are maybe separate. Probably Sabo killed someone. Celestial Dragon. Vivi almost got assassinated. Like I said, we had Blackbeard here, and how Blackbeard ties into this. Well, again, it's alluding to the fact that maybe Sabo's died. Blackbeard says, right guys, let's not have the Marines have something. Let's get out there and go get it. What is Blackbeard talking about? I think it's made to look like he's talking about the Merinomi, the Ace's old fruit, the Flame fruit. That's the most likely one, as we know that Blackbeard is a devil fruit hunter, and he'd probably want that. And we also saw Don Flamingo as well reacting to it, and he was the one who originally had that fruit when Ace got killed. So I think it's hinting towards that, but if Sabo is very much alive, then he's obviously not going to go get the fruit unless Sabo has just been captured, and we end up with like Ace 2.0, Marineford 2.0, but this time it's Blackbeard going of freedom, or Luffy finds out and then he has to go after Wano to go freedom. I hope we don't get that, because I don't want that repeated story thread. But is there anything else that Blackbeard could be going after? Kuma, maybe. I doubt it, unless he wants Kuma's devil fruit. Another idea though, it could be completely unrelated, and he could be reading the story about maybe Alabasta, and he could be talking about going to get Pluton or something like that, or maybe he's going after a very specific warlord. But it's clear that Blackbeard is going after something, and it's probably going to put him at conflict with the Marines. Speaking of the warlords, we get all of the warlords in here. We get Mihawk, we get Weevil, we get Buggy, and they have been stripped of their power. Fujitora's plan came to fruition. Vegapunk has invented something to replace the warlords, and the warlord system has been scrapped, and the Marines are going after the warlords, and we see all of their islands surrounded. Buggy, he's like, come on guys, let's fight. And I'm gonna slip out the back while you guys are doing it. Mihawk is absolutely excited to get back into the action again, and I guess he didn't go after Perona, which is a little bit sad, but he is He's quivering with excitement. And Weevil, well, he's just going to straight up kill them all. He's a bit stupid. He does what his mum tells him. This is some great stuff. This is some interesting stuff for the future of One Piece. What is going to happen with the Warlords now? A lot of them going to get captured, or are they going to realign themselves? They're going to realign themselves maybe with the Yonko, because it was the Yonko, then it was the Warlords. But now that the Warlords aren't a thing, the Warlords now become the most powerful pirates there are. So are they going to align themselves with the Warlords? I mean, Weevil's a lone wolf. I don't think he's going to align himself with anyone. Buggy, Mihawk, both have history with Shanks. I'm pretty sure Shanks will be like, yeah, come on, come hang out, have a drink. By the way, we don't get anything about Shanks. We don't know if he was still at the Reverie or where he is at the moment. But I could see Buggy in desperation maybe going to Shanks. Mihawk as well, maybe. I mean, he's also kind of a lone wolf. He could also go after Perona and end up with Blackbeard. But we've seen him hang out with Shanks, so we could get that, maybe, as an idea. There's one other warlord, though. Boa Hancock. We see Boa Hancock. Where would Boa Hancock go if she had nowhere else to go? Well, she'd go to Luffy, wouldn't she? Could we get Boa joining the Straw Hat Grand Fleet? That would be pretty amazing. But first, she has to contend with another Luffy fan, Koby. Yes, Koby is the Marine Rear Admiral. Yes, he's got promoted. Rear Admiral Koby must have done something at the Reverie because he's gone up in rank in a week. And he has been the one that's been sent to go after Boa. Now, I've seen some people online saying that Boa is going to get absolutely destroyed by Koby. Are you mad? I don't think that is how it's going to go down. I need to remind you that Boa, previously, she went up against Manga, the Marine Vice Admiral, who was killing Sea Kings like he was just killing some fish for lunch. And Boa absolutely pushed him into the corner. He had to take a knee to Boa. So if Koby is going after Boa, I don't think it's going to go well for him. The only thing that might save Koby is when they find that Luffy common ground and they get a talking about that. Maybe that is why Koby is going after Boa, because we find out something else about Koby in this chapter. We find out that he is a member of the secret unit called Sword. We don't know anything about Sword other than the fact that they seem to be the Marines version of CP0, but we do find out one other thing, and that thing is their captain, the captain of Sword. That captain of Sword is someone in Wano. Who in Wano has any connections to the Marines? X Drake. Yes, we find out that X Drake has actually been an undercover Marine all along. He's a captain, he's in charge of Koby, and he is in deep undercover in the land of Wano under Kaido. And that explains why he was looking suspicious and stuff. And it most definitely hints at the fact that he was the one that freed Law. In fact, when we first see X Drake here, we see his legs and we see the cape. It's the same as we saw when Law got rescued. We see them legs and cape in the background. They pretty much look exactly the same. So I think we can pretty much confirm that X Drake is the one that freed Law. And I guess this in turn means that Law isn't actually the traitor if he's working for someone that's working for the Marines. And more importantly, the fact that this group, Sword, they seem to be concerned about the welfare of Luffy, because X Drake brings up the fact that, oh, there's no word of Luffy escaping Udon prison. He doesn't know that Luffy has escaped Udon prison, but it's clear that one of their objectives is at least to free Luffy and get Luffy out there, because they don't want the Big Beast Alliance, Big Mom and Kaido Alliance, and they also don't want CP0 running around Wano, which we also find out CP0 is running around Wano. And this puts Sword in a very interesting light. They seem to be this deep secret group within the Marines. They seem like they're happy to work with people like Luffy. It seems like they're not happy with stuff from the world government because of the way they're talking about CP0. So this could be some interesting stuff. Could this hint some more allies for Luffy in Wano in the future? Could Koby end up coming to back up X Drake? Could he be bringing Boa Hancock with him? Also gives us loads to speculate on. Who else is a member of the secret group Sword? We only know them two people. It seems like they're Marines that are, you know, more willing to help pirates and just people and go against the world government. So we could open up some speculation as to who else could be in Sword. If Koby is, most likely Helmeppo, I would assume, is also a member. I'm assuming Akainu would know about this group, right? And maybe, you know, X Drake is deep undercover. Could Aokiji Kazan also be deep undercover in the Blackbeard Pirates? Could, if Akainu does know about Sword, that mean that everything with Punk Hazard was all a bit of a ruse? Make it just look like Aokiji was leaving the Marines and going with Blackbeard? Not sure. I mean, who else? Who else could be members of the Sword? Fujitora? He seemed like a good guy. He was willing to help Luffy and all that, and seemed in good relations with Zoro. Smoker? You know, Smoker doesn't really like the authority of like the world government and stuff. He's pretty much a Marine that wants to go about his own way with his own sense of justice, and has helped out the Straw Hats every now and then. Garp? I mean, we just don't know. It doesn't even have to be anyone in the Marines, because, you know, ex-Drake, we thought he was a supernova. So there could be Sword agents in the Revolutionaries. There could be Sword agents in the Big Mum crew. How crazy could that be? Imagine if, like, I don't know, Katakuri reveals he's a member of Sword or something. I doubt Katakuri, but imagine if someone in the Big Mum Pirates was a member of Sword. Who knows? We don't know how big this network is. We don't know who else is in it. Definitely a plot thread that's going to come up a little bit more in the future, and I'm sure is going to come back around in Wano, especially with ex-Drake being there and him being the captain and all. So some very, very, very good stuff there. I think that pretty much covers the entire chapter. I mean, there was so much in this. I've probably missed loads, but just an amazing, amazing chapter. No surprise, this chapter, top marks, 10 out of 10. Oda is GODA. Absolutely fantastic. This is the kind of chapter where you read it and you just get online and you start speculating, you start talking to people, you start talking to strangers about One Piece, you start making new friends. It's one of them kind of chapters I've been talking about the last few days. I'm going to be talking about all week. Next week, we don't even know where this is going. We didn't get the Act 3 opening like we got when we had the last interval. We had Act 2 begin at the end. This time we didn't get it, so are we going to carry on with this plot thread? Absolutely hope so, because I'd love to see a little bit more as to what's going on with the Warlords and stuff. Let's just spend a little bit more time outside and just deal with that. Maybe, I wouldn't mind maybe 2 more chapters of this, and then we go back into Act 3. I think that would be pretty cool, or pretty reasonable. No break as well, so it's just hype, hype, hype for next week. Hey, so thanks for watching. What did you think? Let me know about it in the comments below. And if you enjoyed my video, maybe give it a like, and if you really liked it, why not subscribe? You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram and Twitch. Oh, and here's a related video you might enjoy, and something more fresh. I've been Hegassen, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye!